Hello and welcome to your Team Brick. And so as you can see, I'm currently launching a Saturn V. Except, something looks off about the fairing, doesn't it? Well, we'll see later. Now this initial launch, it's pretty standard. Although I didn't do the inboard engine cutoff because I didn't feel like signing up the action group for that. And I've sped up the footage here to 4 times. And so a normal pitchover maneuver using the stock SAS for most of this, well actually for all of this. And the other thing you can see, you only have 2 Kerbals on board. And so that gives you another detail about what's off about this craft. And if you look at the staging, you can tell that, again, there's something off about the payload. We're still going to be going to the Moon, but and this is definitely not a Apollo spacecraft. So the first stage has almost finished its burn. And you can also tell that this payload is significantly lighter than a Apollo spacecraft because we're significantly higher at second stage ignition. In fact, we've just passed the Kármán line, and we are just in the launch escape system there. And now it's time for a pretty long and boring burn with the S2. And well, I misjudged my burn at several points, and so that altitude is getting a bit low, and we're actually gonna dip into the atmosphere a bit. Yeah, I should have gone at a higher angle of attack, and so I'm now gonna have to pitch up significantly to avoid burning up. And you can see that fairing's starting to get pretty warm. Although we do make it out fine. And any moment now, our periapsis is almost at the surface and is almost out of the atmosphere. There it is. And yeah, we didn't even need to use the S4B to enter orbit. And so now we can perform our transmuter injection, which another long burn. Also, I only just now realized I'm using the wrong auxiliary propulsion system on the S4B. I'm using the 200 series, not the 500 series. Sorry about that. And so now just time warping towards the Moon. Except we're gonna do a quick mid-course correction. And you might have seen it there, but the craft name is Saturn L3, or Saturn V L3. Again, giving some more details about the payload. We're now out at the Moon and performing our orbital insertion. Now, so I did have a much more ambitious video originally planned, but that took too long, so I didn't do much testing on this. So I didn't expect to take the S4B this far. But yes, the fairing deploys. The payload is a Soviet, it's a Soviet LOK and LK lander. And I decided why not do something a bit cursed and launch a Soviet moon mission on an American rocket. Currently our pilot is EVAing over to the LK. The LOK is undocking. And now we can perform our deorbit burn. And I didn't have a specific landing site in mind. I just picked somewhere that looked flat, which is from the map screen. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what biomes are. Basically, I just picked a random spot on the surface and started burning for that. As you saw during our descent, I ran out of ignitions on the S4B and the engine exploded. But we can continue with the LK and its upper stage. Now the Centauri's LK lander cockpit has very minimal instrumentation for some reason. I'm not sure what's up with that. So I'm doing this all in the not IVA view. And so there's some boulders from parallax that I'm now noticing on the surface. So I'm doing some lateral motion to avoid them. And also, we're running out of electric charge. I didn't put a fuel cell on this because I forgot. We have no solar panels or anything. And with Kerbalism, aircraft use tons of electric charge. And pretty soon that means our life support systems will stop running. So, yeah, the surface activities will be even more abridged than with the normal, as planned Soviet LK lander. And we detach the lower stage, and the lander starts tumbling. I can't use the reaction wheel, so I have to turn on the RCS. And that did not go to plan. However, the lander does land safely, and I forget to use the posigrade motors. Sorry about that. But we can deploy the ladder and have our Kerbal get on EVA. And to add to curseness, I used the American flag. If you're wondering where this spacesuit is from, it's a part of Centauri's. Reboarding, Kerbals do not like upside down ladders. So, different plan. I tried to jump to the hatch, and first attempt I didn't have any forward velocity. There I got it, and almost tipped the lander over. And after waiting until the LOK is above us, we can detach from the descent stage and start to burn towards again back into orbit. And now I got a pretty quick rendezvous with the LOK. And I'm basically already at the docking procedure. And we're just a few tens of meters away from the LOK. And so the lander, I only have a level 1 pilot on board, and it doesn't have a probe core or any other SAS modules. So most of the docking is going to be performed using the LOK. And so just reorientating there. And there's extra tanks added to the side of the LOK are for the fuel cell installed in the service module. Now the pilot needs to EVA back over into the LOK. And we can also just do a visual inspection of the combined craft. And at this point, I didn't bother to note where the hatch was, so I had to search for it. And I have to reorientate the Kerbal using the mouse. Which, by the way, is there a better way to rotate the Kerbal? Like WISD and QNE are for I don't know how to properly explain it, but just some rotation can be done using QNE. Some can only be done using the mouse. Is there some extra controls I'm just missing? Anyways, we've undocked the LK. There, I could not gather any science because of lack of electric charge, so no data had to be transferred. And we can perform our lunar escape burn. And just the Kerbal periapsis to be 40 kilometers. Chosen because I thought that felt about right. And I'm morphing towards Kerbal. And adjusting the orbital module, as well as the service module pretty soon, after doing some RCS adjustments to our trajectory. I didn't check where I was gonna land, and besides, the trajectory it was showing me was inaccurate. So I'm not gonna land on land as is properly intended for this. And at the bottom of the screen, you can see the service module exploding from the re-entry heating, and some other debris is creating plasma trails in the background. And also, I'm a bit concerned because no re-entry effects, besides the stock re-entry heating, appear to be showing for the main craft. And you can see that distant debris just exploded. But we're most of the way through re-entry now. And the drogue chute's deployed. And this craft only has one parachute. So this video is almost over. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and goodbye.